Anyway, all right, so we're gonna call this meeting to order at 4 votes. I have already taken attendance. I do wanna, Matt, we muted you for a minute while you were having a discussion, but it looks like you're back on. So anyway, I wanted to introduce our newest member of the Trails Coordinating Task Force, Matthew Chilman. He is representing the Board of Education. So welcome.
I'm very happy to be with you.
Thank you very much. We're happy to have you. We haven't had a representative from the Board of Ed in a while, so this is wonderful.
Yeah, they know my wife and I like to take long hikes, so they found a place to keep us happy.
Perfect, great, okay. So I've got attendance taken care of, citizens, petitions, comments, and concerns. Any citizens approached any of you about comments or concerns? No? Okay. All right, approval of minutes. So the last meeting we held was Thursday, December 2nd. You should have all received the minutes. Hopefully there's no edits. Oh, yes, Ray. First name, spelling? For the attendance. Sorry. All right. Could I get a motion from somebody to approve the minutes?
I make a motion.
With the.
With the, I was gonna say that.
Yes, okay, all right.
A motion to approve the minutes as corrected.
Second? Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Okay. Next is correspondence communications. I guess I could share with everybody that we heard from, it looks like Groton's application for 2 Connecticut greenways is going to be approved at their April.
It is?
It is.
Wow,
Yes.
fantastic.
They did not have, they didn't have a quorum at the
Okay.
March meeting. It was on the agenda. So emailed.
Giannotti? No.
Yes, Laurie.
Okay.
Yes, and she said that she expected that it would get approved at the April 8th meeting. Yes.
Not Southeast West?
And she also sent an email back to me saying that after April 1st, I should communicate with her because she's retired. Yes. Yep. So I wish her well for hiking. Yep.
So my one question on that Greenway application is I believe that Ledger also put in for continuing the north-south Greenway up at that end.
Yeah.
But was that included or that was included up to the Ledger?
Yeah, we just went up to the Groton. Yeah, because we can't.
I haven't heard about Ledger.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't ask. Yeah, I didn't ask. Hopefully they see that connection.
Yeah, because it's continuous.
Right.
All the way up to Preston Community.
Yep. Yep. So
Okay.
anyway, that was
There's
good
a
news.
chance.
And once I get confirmation, I'll let everybody. Yeah. And a lot of credit goes. Tom's not on this call.
No.
Zach. But,
yeah, I didn't alert him.
oh, okay.
He did a wonderful job. Yeah.
Yeah, Tom really gets a lot of credit. I mean, I signed off on it, but
Almost.
yeah, he did a wonderful job.
Did Lori have any information about, was that going to be a job posting in the state or for the Greenway?
She gave me another contact, so I don't know if they've already filled that position or if they're moving somebody. I don't know if that's temporary or whether that's permanent while they look for somebody else.
I know that, you know, there was a woman on Avalonia board, Kim Bradley, that worked on trail.
Right, sure. Yeah, she might want to check the state website.
I think, you know, she's already paid by the state for her position,
Oh, all right, oh, that's right, that's right.
but I don't
Yeah.
know what the Greenway Council.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Any other,
No, I just have a question. Do you have plans to sort of like, especially the trail that goes from the Nautilus all the way along? Do you have plans to start sort of making that clearer or something? or-
yeah, I think eventually, that would be the long-term goal, would be start looking at opportunities to identify because the greenway is not like a specific, okay, we could, although Tom put in a lot of, that doesn't necessarily mean that's exactly where it will go, because things may come up that may require you to go over a street or whatever. But I think the goal is to start to make all of those connections within that area, so we do.
It's my understanding, it doesn't necessarily have to be a trail. You have a greenway that isn't a through trail in Ledger. It's not a trail. You can't put a trail through from one green corridor to the other, so I'm not sure. Does it have to be railed?
No, I mean,
be
there
a
are some
greenway?
sections that are on a street, but I think there needs to be some like connectivity, or what we have put together. The two that we've put together are contiguous throughout town. One runs north-south.
This is
East-west.
contiguous, but it's not trailed.
So it's open space with
It's
no
open
trail?
space.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and there are parcels, I think, right now that are identified that are open space, but not necessarily trail, and those would be the utilities. But the eventual goal is to have a trail
Through the water?
through. Well, no,
No, I'm just teasing.
right along 117.
No, I'm teasing from what Cindy said, so.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, reports, Avalonia.
Okay, local things. Our spring newsletter is in draft and it should be coming out soon.
Joanne, I'm sorry, you're gonna send me an because you always have quite a long list. You're
I
gonna,
need to type it.
okay, but you'll send it to me in an email?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, I will.
perfect. Okay.
You want me to continue?
Yeah. I want everybody to hear, but I also
Okay,
know that,
so
Got it.
spring newsletter should be coming out soon.
okay.
This year is the 50th anniversary of the Clean Water Act. And Avalonia has over 90% of their properties have some form of water on them. So if you go on our website, the focus of Avalonia this year will be water-related events, clean water, whatever. So those events will be showing up on the website as they become available. There's one coming up, but it's not in Groton. On March 21st, the Rivers Alliance is hosting a program directed at the 50th anniversary of the Clean Water Act. And if you wanted to hear Governor Lamont speak on it, you can go to Rivers Alliance website and register for the Zoom. That's the 21st of March. On April the 9th, Avalonia has like an all Avalonia Stewardship Day. So there'll be opportunities to come out on various properties and do some stewardship work, whatever the town has put together. We applied for reaccreditation to the National Land Trust Alliance organization that we've been accredited by. We've received their responses and our responses back to them, hopefully to cement our reaccreditation due by the end of April. We've also begun our annual LTA required property boundary walks. There'll be a Trails Day event, which I think you're coming to on your agenda.
Yep.
Janet Anderson will be leading a walk on the Leo Antonino property, which is up Antonino Road. And that will be on Sunday, and I think it's 1 o'clock or 1:30, but that'll be listed on our events. Back in 2019, a couple of Avalonia's rivers and streams were included in the Woodpawcatuck Wild and Scenic River Initiative, and we've been asked to participate in their first annual National River Celebration in June 25th and 26th. So that's in discussion about what those programs or events might look like to highlight the rivers or streams that we have that have been included in that National Wild and Scenic River Initiative. Thank you. I'll forward this to you.
Okay.
Once I get it.
All right. Cop property? Don't really have a lot to report out there. We continue to maintain it as it needs to be. Hear from one of the Parks and Rec commissioners. Nice to hear that. Yeah, so we continue to maintain it. We have set up, I think I said this before, we've set up a cop board, scheduled for one of the board members each month to go walk the property, just to, right, and just to report back to us any trees, and we've actually got a map that, so, because there's a lot of trails out there, and it's helpful to have a map, and so, you know, they mark off on the map when we communicate with them each month. It's your month to do it, here's a map, and they go out and take the map and fill that out, and then we get that map back. So that way the guys aren't wondering, oh yeah, there's a tree down on the purple trail. Well, so it saves them time. So that seems to be, we're doing the same thing. Cross Town Trail.
Can I ask you a question?
Oh,
Cynthia,
sure.
Before you move on? from
Yeah.
the cop? I'm aware that there was a request across Groton utility property to access a car. Is that?
There are ongoing talks with Groton Utilities.
Okay. Yeah, maybe when we get to the Tri-Town Trails, you can share
But I know.
what you know, yes. Okay. Cross Town Trail, we put the bridge in last fall. I was out there Monday, met with somebody who wanted to put in a memorial bench out by the bridge, which I thought was a nice idea. So we're trying to figure out if it's actually town property or Board of Ed property where she wants to put the bench and go from there. But I am hopeful that in the next, well, she's waiting for a month to pass. But anyway, she's putting everything in place.
Doesn't want to jump the gun on it.
Yes.
You can always put the bench and put the plaque on later.
Yeah. So anyway, she's just trying to get things, and I can appreciate the fact that, you know, after a parent passes, it's a difficult time, and there's a lot, so she's trying to get things lined up ahead of time so that transition to not having a parent is a little, I don't know, is it easier? I don't know, but anyway. So at some point, we expect the bench to be up.
So just a heads up,
Yeah.
so we have 2 miles, we have 6 benches.
Oh, yeah.
They
Okay.
multiply
Yeah.
without realizing.
Right. We
So-
actually run into the same thing. We've got benches down at Esco Point.
Yeah,
And if you go out to the Noe Town Dock,
and it's such an
it's-
emotional thing
I know,
that you
you
just
kind of
don't
hate
want
to
to
say,
say
you hate to
no,
say no.
but at the
Yes.
same time, they do tend to
Yeah,
multiply. You found that.
yes, that's been my experience. All right, Joan, hi.
Hi there. Groton Open Space Association's having a Trails Day hike on this morning before the Antonino one on Sunday, the 5th. I think it's at 10 a.m. Dan O'Connell's going to lead it. We did not plan a through hike this year. We've been busy. It's one thing a lot. If someone else wants to organize it, certainly welcome to go through our properties and we can help with that. But we've had a transition period. I guess about 5 or 6 of our board members have had major illnesses or problems. So we're just limping through, trying to just keep the organization going without taking on a lot of big projects.
And Joan, you said that was Sheep Farm South, that the hike was scheduled for?
No, excuse me, I maybe missaid it. Avery Farm North.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, you park on the Avery Farm South parking lot, but it's a tour of Avery Farm North, the loop there, the family-friendly hike of Avery Farm North.
And that's open to everybody?
I think it'll be registration through the trails thing, because we had a first day hike one time. We had 14 people registered and 52 people showed up, and we just don't, we can't handle that big a crowd.
Sure. All right. Can you share that information with the Parks and Rec Department so that we can get the word out?
Okay, I'll have Dan do it. He's the one who's organizing it, and I don't know if he's registered yet with the with Connecticut Forest and Park. He's also going to register it with the Last Green Valley. They have a Spring Forward program, so you can list your hikes there too as well. Okay, we'll coordinate with you.
Okay.
And certainly, if you want to go through our properties and do what we've done before, that's fine. We're just not going to be the organizers.
All right. All right. What else do you have for us?
Let's see. Well, we participated in the data center stuff. I don't know if you realize the Holstein property is under proposal for the data center. And so there was a public citizens petitions last night, and it went from like 6:30 at night to 10:15, and over 50 people signed up. A lot of expertise. And so the Holstein property is right next to Sheep Farm South and Sheep Farm. Beautiful property, has archaeology values as well as conservation values. So we're keeping an eye on that project. And let's see. Yeah, we don't have any real earth-shattering news, no new acquisitions or anything, since we last met. So,
Okay.
That's it, I think, unless, does Sydney there, do you have something to add?
No, Sydney is not here.
She's not there, okay. Okay, yeah, I think that's it,
Okay. All right, thank you.
okay?
Town trails, so the engineering division is working on the bike path that's going to connect to the existing Route 1 bike path, go through Sutton Park, out behind the ball fields, and then connect Midway Oval. They're working on that. Hopefully that will be something we'll be bidding this fall, or maybe late summer, and then construction may start sometime this fall. I also found out that the connector from the trolley trail over to Industrial Drive, Mr. Shipman owns a strip of land that kind of divides those Industrial Drive and where the end of the trolley trail is. He has signed off on allowing the town to make that connection, so we're going to be extending the bike path from the end of the trolley trail where it ends now. I can't think of the name of the road. And it's going to go over to Industrial Drive. And that Industrial Drive is going to get restriped with a bike lane all the way down to Depot. Yep. So that will just extend that a little bit further, and then we do have plans in place to, and that's actually part of the community connectivity grant that we got. We're going to be restriping Depot Road out to Route 1. So almost have, there'll be a little bit of rain on. But eventually, we hope to go across the street and up North Road and then connecting, because that's all part of it.
Can I do a shout out to, pump truck? I went to their meeting and just because it's right in the area,
Yes,
I don't know if it's appropriate this time, but it's right in the area.
yeah,
But their budget is $65,000 and they've raised $40,000.
yes,
$65,000. That's impressive, and there was no corporate donations.
right,
Those were all sort, and that's a very exciting project, and that's beautiful
It
because
is.
that's on all your connectivity
right,
grants and all the bicycle trail stuff. You have the skate park at one end,
right,
you'll have a pump track, you
Yeah.
have bicycle trails,
yeah,
you have Bluff Point,
right,
and hopefully Tri-Town Trail. I mean,
Right.
it's just really, it'll
Yeah.
become a nice hub
yes,
down there.
yeah. And they're going through, I think they just submitted the plans, planning, their site plan approval, to the planning department
Yeah.
yesterday.
What are the two numbers again? It's 40, they raised
They
40.
were- Yeah, it's
Yeah,
about
it's, well, it,
42, I think.
yeah, it'll be
if
right
they-
around 42,000, and they're looking to raise 65. 65, yes. Yep. Yep.
They've
And
done a
this
great
is
job.
being driven by Groton, which is a bike that Brian Kent is the president. It's Brian Kent from Cross.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw, well, I was at the. meeting
Yeah,
on
I
Monday,
mean,
and
the
it's
plans were
really
really
good.
nice plans.
Yeah.
And very futuristic. I mean, it's that, but a possibility of a deck and a possibility of events. And
Right, right.
lights and,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
Really,
gonna be,
yeah.
it's gonna be quite nice.
yeah.
Yep.
it's- That's huge.
Okay, Tri-Town.
Tri-Town Trail. So Ledger just received a recreational trail grant to do the next 2 to 3 miles of planning and development down to Route 214. So that was just awarded in the last month or 6 weeks.
How much was it?
I don't know. I've been out of town.
Oh, okay.
I'm out of touch. It's around 110, 115, something like
Wow.
that, somewhere in there.
Yep.
But this is a development and planning, and there are a lot of private properties up here, so that's gonna be a lot of negotiation as well,
Oh, okay,
to try to figure out what's the best route to
Right.
get to 14. And then I've been working with Bluff Point and DEP, and they have allowed us to Tri-Town Trail to put up a sign, so we have a very nice sign now on the actual trailhead sign that says access point to Tri-Town Trail and shows that the main trail that's on Bluff Point is actually Tri-Town Trail now. And the DP has been really nice. I mean, they even called me when they were doing tree maintenance to make sure I was aware of it as a Tri-Town Trail number.
Hmm.
Like, thank you. So they're very committed and they've reached out several times about various things, so that's been wonderful. And another sign will be going up, and I've worked with Mark on that at Quonic River Walkway. It will also have the same thing. It will have a map, it will show Tri-Town Trail, it will show, this is an access point and just a little bit about the website. So we are starting to have a presence in the southern part of our Tri-Town Trail plan. And if you want to know about GU, there's ongoing talks. GU has a consultant to look at possibilities of various trails and looking at what that means to GU as far as how the planning and what other reservoirs have done. So they're actually working at seeing what other reservoirs have done as far as opening up trails. We have no definitive plans. It's just ongoing talks and ongoing discussions.
well, that's encouraging that they brought in somebody, and that person is looking at what other reservoirs and utilities have done.
Yeah, they actually hired a consultant firm to look at those.
Yeah. That's
So
good.
it feels much more positive than it has
Yeah,
in the past. And,
Great.
and it's cautious. I mean, it's a two-way discussion, what we would like, what they would like, how can we work on that together? So it's very much of a two-way communication. And there's ongoing talks and meetings with Tri-Town Trail and Groton Utilities are also ongoing
Oh,
at the
okay.
same time as discussed.
Oh, so you're meeting regularly.
Bea, do you know the name of the person that replaced the fellow at Fort Trumbull in DEP? I've forgotten his name.
Mark is his first name, begins with an H.
Mark H.
It's Mark Sulik is the name.
Stewart?
Sulik, S-U-L-I-K.
Yes, you're right.
S-U.
L-I-K.
Thank you.
All right, anything else?
Nope.
No?
that's it.
Okay.
And I have brochures, if anyone wants it. Here, Joan, here's your brochure. Oh, man, I didn't mean to leave you out, man. I'll take your brochure. Here, I'll give you a couple.
Okay.
Awesome. Here, go ahead.
All right, next is trail webpage enhancements. Okay. How are we doing this? Well, we've got this set up. Let's see. Let's see. And bring up this. All right. Oh, no, not everybody. Not everybody. You all can't. Those of you can't see what we're seeing, can you?
No, we see your belly.
Yeah. Now don't laugh. That only encourages those kinds of comments. Yeah, I'm sorry. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. So we're. Yeah, but I don't see. Oh, go back up to. Wait a minute. Okay.
Screen bigger.
Oh,
There's a man
whoops.
from IT here, shouldn't he be able to?
Well, he's GIS, so.
I think if you put the full screen of the people
Whoops.
back up.
All right, wait a minute.
And that back up.
Oh, here we go. Whoops. Not used to.
And then
Okay.
screen share should be at the bottom.
Oh yeah, there we go. All
And
right.
then minimize it and go back.
Okay, now we go. Nope.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh yeah, but they're not.
Yeah, now they should see it.
Are you
We
seeing?
We're
see
good.
it, we see it, that's fine,
Oh,
beautiful.
perfect.
We're good.
All right.
Need a soft point.
So, Matthew, sorry. Noah is the GIS coordinator for the town. And so he has been working on making some enhancements to the Trails webpage that we've had up for, how many years have we had that up?
Yeah,
5, 6?
that's
Yeah.
a guess.
Yeah, maybe it's more, yeah. So if you go to the Town of Groton's webpage, go to Parks and Recreation, there is, you can look at various maps.
We're gonna actually start.
Oh, okay.
This. So long-term, the plan is still to sort of do away with the old app and get some new things in. But I'm not there yet. We're still working on And one of the big pieces of this is now in place, which is our new topo map. So this focuses on natural features, kind of strips away a lot of the roads, a lot of the buildings, and instead just looks at topography, water, and this is going to be used as sort of centerpiece of the Trails app. So a much different view than you're used to. Generally, you come in and see something like this, and a much different story when you actually start looking at the topography. So you're going to see this appear in a number of places, but for
So this is
now,
all new, right? You've added the topo.
exactly. So that's a starting point that I wanted to get done. You know, the former app, the former hiking app, I think it was sort of like a gray background, wasn't it? At some point that went down and I just couldn't even bother to rebuild it. I was so close to having this done. I think I just put up one of my my early drafts of that. So you will see that that is now in place. So load with familiar view.
You've mixed that into the hiking map.
Exactly.
Oh,
Exactly. That's the
Right.
background.
You mirrored those,
Right.
matched those two.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now you're seeing all of the trails as before, all the parks as before, but just on this new view, a little bit more hiking oriented, outdoors oriented. Let's see. Again,
Move to the right so we can see
Oh.
some of the trail connections for the crosstown.
yes.
Up
Come
through
over here,
Bluff,
Joe.
across Haley and.
You know, I
across
think
Vermont.
He wants him to move the map, not, yeah.
Okay,
That's that.
and then, did you do the connection between Fishtown and?
Is that's this, right?
Yes.
Yes, it's on there. It's a little faint looking at it, this monitor. I think it, I don't
The
know.
new bridge?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
It was routed on a road before, right?
Right.
Yeah, we
Yes.
got it moved down,
Right.
and it is in the
Great.
correct orientation now.
Looks good.
So we've also, you know, I've been staring at this trails data for some time and hadn't noticed how out of date it had gotten. I realized just going out there that like Haley Farm, a lot of this section was not in. So that's all been added. This is now a lot more complex than it was. I think it was just a loop before. That's all added in. This northern section of Bluff Point, I wanted to get in there. I think that's important. And when we talk about connections, I think before it just stopped at the parking lot. So this section is here.
I got a question, Noah. Are these
Sure.
all confirmed using GPS trackers, or are they, are some of them still based on the cartoon drawings?
Supposedly they're all confirmed, but when I went out to look at some of those confirmed trails, I found they were not very good.
Okay.
Like Haley Farm was, this section here was way off. So I'm going to be, that's part of the delay with the new app is again, I'm realizing some of this data is not that great, and I want to get that in place before we move on to anything else.
Okay, good.
The
And then-
slash lines, the slash lines as opposed to the solid lines, why is that?
That's the crosstown trail. And yes, it was in there before. I think it was symbolized a little bit differently. That's the route that be sure I matched the route that I saw on the older version of the data.
Okay, and what's the best way for our websites to guide people to these maps? To give a link or something, or?
Yeah, probably just a link.
Okay, so go to the GIS viewer, then click on the property that you want. Yeah.
I'll send you some instructions.
Okay, and yeah, if they're already made, we could just cut and paste and put it on our website to guide people.
Perfect.
Okay, yeah.
Mr. Shulman, you have a question?
I did. I was wondering if you had an aspirational map showing the Mystic to the Gold Star Bridge, hoped for walk through Groton Trail along the coastal trail.
Yeah.
Oh, so that would be the Connecticut Greenway, one of the two that we just submitted and are waiting for approval from or for?
Yeah, so both, I mean, as soon as the greenways go official, I'll
Right.
add them both.
Yeah.
Kind of throughout the
Okay.
ecosystem.
Okay.
Any estimate of timeline on that?
We should hear, the Connecticut Greenways Council has a meeting in April, and the representative from the state that's on that committee said that she expects them to approve Groton's application in April at that meeting.
Thank you.
Mark, before you go, could you just point to where you were talking about earlier, the connection of the,
Oh, sure,
over to the new pump?
right. So, yep. Let's see. Yeah, so we are looking at, so right now, and I forget the name of this road, but there's going to be a cutoff that goes, whoops, from there. Oh, it keeps moving.
Sorry.
It's going to go from there across. This is, well, where's Industrial Drive? Is this Industrial
I'm gonna have
Drive
to go
here?
one more in.
Oh, there we go. Okay, so it's gonna go from there down to Industrial Drive. And then
There's a little stuff, it's like walkway there anyways.
there is, yeah, and I think they're gonna pretty much follow that path. And it's gonna go down. Industrial Drive is gonna be restriped, and the same with Depot Road is gonna be
Okay,
restriped.
thanks.
Yeah.
I wasn't quite
And
sure.
then the other part of this is, Knoxville Court, there we go. This is also gonna be striped out to Midway Oval and then around to, if you zoom out. That's all part of the Connecticut connectivity grant that we got, so Midway Oval, I'm sorry, Knoxville Court, and then it's gonna be lined and all the way over, and there's a right of way, well, Sutton Park is, yeah, so, no, where's the ball field? That's the front part, yeah, this is the back, so somewhere along here, there's a right of way that's gonna, well, actually, that's gonna connect to Sutton Park, and the bike path is gonna come from Route 1 all the way through and go through that connector, and then this is just gonna be like on street.
So if you don't want the topo, you can also switch over to the aerial. Over to our classic base map.
Oh, I saw a little line there. A little red line connected it there, right about where your cursor is. One of those maps had a little dotted red line.
Oh, yeah, can you go back to the, aerial? Is that, yeah, so there's a connector, I think, like between these two houses. It's about 4.5, 5 feet wide. And that's
Yeah.
how people are gonna, and then the bike path is gonna go from here out around, through there. Yeah, And then out to Route 1. So it'll be a nice big loop. With the exception of the section in front of Town Hall.
Now,
And
does
then-
this map also go into the field maps app?
It does, yeah. Yeah, you can access it.
I've been using the field maps app with the maps when it's,
Oh.
it's incredible.
Perfect, yeah.
Yeah, it's so smooth and works so well that
Excellent.
just sort of mirrored itself perfectly. Yeah, good practical experience out in the woods.
Absolutely.
We were knowing where we are.
Yeah.
and knowing where to
Spread the
look.
word on that. I don't think a lot of people know that you can access that.
So all of this new topo stuff. can also go in.
So tell me the link again.
Yeah, it's Field Maps is the name of the app.
Field.
Field Maps, yeah. Like that. Field Maps, you can get it on
Oh,
the
yeah.
Google App Store,
Okay.
and then Noah can give you the,
And it links you to.
yeah, there's a
Yes.
data set you download, and you just download right into the map, and then you just open it up, and you can walk along, and it just tracks where you are, wherever you are.
More of that coming is on the way. We're trying to make everything more accessible. And maybe I'll get to that later before I lose my train of thought on this. Let's see. So
Yeah, so there it is.
some other additions.
No, it says trail.
We have Waltz, Walls, and Woods on here now.
Yay.
Oh, nice.
We have
Oh, okay.
the Groton half of Avery Farm and Candlewood Ridge. That is all in. I think the only thing I'm missing at this point is Leo Antonino. So I've got to get out there and grab some data.
So do you want to make those arrangements with Janet and make
Sure.
the trail?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I'll send you the connection.
Okay.
Trail is really, it's become a favorite of a number of people.
If someone has the data, that's great, but I'd like to get out there anyway.
Well, I don't think
see it
anybody,
for
I
myself.
don't know of anybody that has captured.
Okay.
But they have a map, so maybe somebody has it somewhere.
We'll get that, and we'll get that one added on.
Great, thank you.
And I think that's most of, I think I'll take care of most of it. I'd like to rewalk the, all these on the cop trail and
Okay.
see how accurate that is.
Okay.
Um,
Hopefully it's pretty accurate.
hopefully.
Yeah. Okay.
And same with Pequot Woods.
Oh, yeah.
We'll head down there.
Okay.
It's getting easier now that we have the extra hour of light. I was just at Pequot Woods the other day.
Nice.
I got at least some of it. So that's the current state, I guess, of the hiking app.
Okay.
You just notice everything is a lot smoother than it was before. It's a lot quicker. The load time is instant.
Yeah.
You know, I was pretty concerned about 30 seconds isn't a lot to wait, but I'm guessing a lot of people just opened it up, didn't see the data immediately pop up, and probably left, thinking
Right.
that it wasn't even working.
Yeah.
So that should no longer be a problem. And
Now-
this should put us in good shape while I develop something else,
Yeah.
I think.
Okay. Is there a way we would have to go to IT to find out how many people are going to this?
That's a good segue. I've just, you know, I should have done this long ago, but I'm finally getting caught up enough that I can start digging into analytics
Oh,
on the
okay.
main page, on
Okay.
this page. And, you know, I'm getting going on that.
Yeah.
In another 6 months or so, I should have
Okay.
a good sample of data to actually,
You
understand
have
what's going on.
the GIS page, like that data set, you have like a note that said, you know, once they download like the field map, say, this is the data set to look at to download. 'Cause I can,
yeah, probably.
you know,
That's a good
I
idea.
can talk about it at the council, we do our correspondence stuff, I can mention it and say, it's on the GIS set, I can just say, go to the town's GIS page,
Yeah.
there'll be a notice, here's an app that works. Here's the thing to look for to download.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And give it-
Okay. And no, I noticed you have the sheep farm there. We do have just one through trail on the sheep farm south that does connect over to the Flanders Road entrance right across from the Merritt. So that's we haven't developed the rest of the trails, but that one is a good one that goes all the way through.
Excellent. I'll head over there.
Yeah, it's our blue trail. So you
Okay,
you start at the sheep farm, go across the bridge, and then just follow the blue trail and you'll get there.
I will get that in. And speaking of bridges, that's another thing where I found we're kind of like woefully behind. I got to get a lot of those features into. I think you'll see I actually dumped some of the data that I didn't think was all that reliable. There's no photos on here anymore. Half of them didn't even load before, so I just got rid of all of them for the time being. They'll be coming back on the in future iterations. Hopefully they'll be a little bit better. They work.
Well, could you have a click on thing so you don't load all that data, but just if someone selects a property, then they get that information?
Exactly. You'll grab something and then there'll be, some data here.
Okay. Yeah.
Expand this out.
That's really good.
Well, and if you notice, we have some historic stone slab bridges on several properties, and those are noteworthy to point out.
Like I noticed the Pequot Woods has the main bridge down at the south end, but none of the little like walkways across the marshes or any of the stone slabs. They're not there. I don't think we ever had that data. So as I'm out there, I'll be noting that stuff.
Okay.
And adding it in accordingly.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I think you just have the kind of bare basics. The parking is on there and trailheads. And I think I put signposts if I thought they were still good. But I'm sure you have a sign on Sheep Farm somewhere that I don't have. But
yeah, and we're gonna
just lost you, Joan.
Yeah, Joan, you muted yourself.
Okay. Yeah, okay, we are going to come up with new signs that combine the maps, but we might wait till you're done and cut and paste yours with your permission.
Sounds good.
Okay.
No,
Also, while we're on that topic and on the sheep farm, I did talk to one of the cops who was at one of the meetings with the town, and he cannot get a crossing on Route 1 from Sheep Farm South to Merritt because it is too dangerous a stretch to put in a crosswalk. You have to have certain sight lines and all this and that. And so I said, well, it's more dangerous to have nothing at all if we're, dashing across. But he said, well, you could go up the hill, go up the sidewalk and cross at the top of the hill, but then there's no access we don't own the property at the top of the hill by the farmhouse, so you can't get into the Merritt that way. And it's too close to the other light to go across by the water tower where you could enter Merritt. So that's a conundrum I hadn't thought about, is that you can't always get a crosswalk where you think there should be one. There's a lot of Department of Transportation criteria as to safety and stopping times. And if someone goes through a light, they're not expecting another light to come up right after that sort of thing. So it looks like the crossing there is for now dead in the water of getting across that intersection of Route 1 there. So I don't know what we'll do. If anyone has any ideas how these kinds of crossings are handled, I know some places have little flags on a can on a post, and you can lift the flag and at least carry that across the street with you and leave it in the can on the other side. But I don't know how else we could try to get somebody safely across there. So we do have on the Merritt that little straight trail, which is our yellow trail, that actually goes straight out to Route 1, right opposite Flanders Road. Yeah, right where your arrow is to the right there. Yeah, that we do connect right up to Flanders. Yeah, that trail goes right out.
That's
But as I
another
said,
one.
it's
I will
not
have
a,
to go out there with the GPS and add that
yeah, it's
in.
just not a safe, it's not safe to cross there. There's dips and curves in the road and limited sight lines.
No, is Sassacus, is that rated or?
Yes.
Oh, great.
I, well, that's probably a good question for you. You can tell me if everything is on there. That's what I've got for now. But I think you were going to add some more to that.
Do you have any elevation indicators on there?
Yes. It's hard to see, but there,
Yeah, this, well, yeah, you can see a 110,
Okay.
90, 70.
I promise you it's visible when if you actually have the screen
I just wanted
in
to.
front of you.
Sometimes.
So the way it works is they're not labeled farther out, but then as you zoom in, you'll see them. And that's this map is in progress. Every time I do another iteration, I see something and think, okay, let's tweak it this way or that way, or add this at this level, or take this away at this level to make it more clear. So you'll see this thing evolve as you probably have with the classic.
That looks great. And I guess you'll just keep tweaking it as people give you feedback and as you get out there, and yeah, it
That's
looks terrific.
perfect.
I have one question. So I used to access the trails and everything through the Groton Park and Rec and then go to trails and then I could
Right.
look at. This one, I'm gonna access a different way.
Yeah, this is on the GIS page.
Yes,
So I
but
would go town of Groton.
Town of Groton
Departments,
Departments GIS.
And then
But
you
right
just
now
gotta
it's
scroll through.
as of now, it's the same exact app. If you're going through the Parks and Recs page, this will take you right there. It's just,
Okay.
it's new data in the same app. Eventually that app will go away, but then, I think we'll just set it up the same way so it links directly.
Mark, may I make a comment?
Sure, please.
Though Aline and I have walked many of the trails in Groton over the last 6-7 years since we've been here, 8 years, there is a richness of detail in the maps that you've been showing that we've been totally unaware of. And I may be repeating some plowing old ground for you, but perhaps at some time, whether it's through public access or through the library, I think it would be a lovely program to do a tour and intersperse it with images and do a program to acquaint our community with the rich resources that are here. If you've done it, all I can say is we've missed it.
Okay, no, that's a terrific suggestion.
I was thinking, this is so wonderful. Could you do a giant map, like to be displayed at the library or something? We found that whenever we host a booth, people are just drawn right to the map. We have an overall map of the open space, but with this level of detail, if it could be blown up real, like a mural, that would be wonderful.
May I also
Biggest
point out
printer is
that the
2400.
Board of Education is going to be having open houses at the end of this month. On the 30th, all 5 elementary schools will be having open houses. And on the 31st, it will be the middle school. The superintendent is or has or shortly will be sending out a note to community organizations. If you'd like individually or collectively to have a table at one or more of these schools and distribute information, interest people in our resources, and maybe recruit a few people, that can happen.
Yes,
Great.
I know that the department is going to be there promoting some of their spring and summer camp programs at a couple of those, open houses.
You could also do it in file, you take it to like the science place.
Yeah.
They could easily make it,
Right.
You're on mute.
Nope.
all that up.
We just
fabric, I know, or something.
get to a point where the map is, I mean, because it's constantly,
Yeah, yeah.
it's constantly evolving.
Yeah.
So, right.
It's a great idea, John. Yeah, find a wall somewhere and just.
Right.
And just.
Right. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that would.
Totally doable.
Or even a banner, like, you can put it on a banner display that pops up.
Yeah.
And then use it wherever you need it, wherever there was an event.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
And printing does work from the site too. You can, I'll go to the main app, but
So you could generate a file.
just appear, actually, something interesting. That, and then we go all the way up to 24 by 36.
Big PDF.
Exactly.
Just pull that up. Great, this is fantastic.
So I guess the second half of this, while we're here, is that, you know, so not everyone is going to go in here and dig down to find the GIS viewer or the Trails viewer, and you know, not everyone's going to dig through the Parks and Rec site to see these trails. So I'm trying, you know, our most popular GIS component is the main GIS viewer, which I think people are primarily using for looking at tax purposes, deeds, that sort of thing. So I'm also working on trying to get as much of this data integrated there as possible, so we can kind of encourage more of the sort of accidental interactions with some of this. Someone, you know, might just be showing up to pull up property information and, you know, not realize that there's a park nearby. I've done a lot over the past 6 months with adding things like courts, fields,
baseball fields, yeah.
tracks.
Track, yeah.
All these
Yeah.
things are now visible there.
Yeah.
Recreation.
Yeah,
facilities.
yeah, perfect. Yeah. So that is all visible, and you know, the hope is that someone might, like I said, you know, they're just coming to look up parcel data, but they leave and go out on a hike that a trail they didn't know existed. I've also
So what's this filter called?
sorry.
What's this filter called? Is it
This is just the main GIS app.
the main GIS?
Just the
Yeah.
top one.
GIS viewer.
That has everything like that.
Kind
It's
of
all
in
there.
it's in the basement.
Ah, oh,
He's adding more information to the basement.
that is-
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's nice.
And you know, from again, we're just getting into analytics, but you know, we see maybe 500 people a day on this site, and you know, by comparison, granted, you know, it's kind of buried and it's been running really slow, but you know, only a handful a day there, so a wider audience is going to be here. So anything we can do to reach those people, I think we should.
So out of curiosity, if you go to Farquhar Field, which is off
Yes.
117, 184, are you going to identify someplace what is available, like 2 tennis courts, a ball field, and a basketball court?
Yeah, I think that's what he's
At some
adding.
point in time, is that
Point me in the right direction.
117
yeah.
and
Right, that little square. Yeah.
184?
Yeah, right
This
there.
guy.
That one.
Yep.
Okay. Let's see what we've got. I believe those are on there.
That far, well,
Yep.
yeah, there you
There
go.
they are.
Tennis courts,
Yeah,
basketball
okay,
courts.
so it shows the two basketball courts, the two.
Yeah, parking lot.
I didn't realize
Ball
there
field.
was that much open space to the right of the, well, if you're looking at it from the
Yeah.
street.
Yeah.
To the right of the ball.
Just go run that edge.
That'd be a great place to put a little, trail.
Trail. Yeah, see the trees?
Yeah, I see.
And you notice also with the new topo map, that also divides, I think I mentioned that earlier, that divides wooded areas from open. So you can see
Oh,
what's
okay.
developed and what isn't. I think it doesn't look terribly clear here, but again, I think once you have it in front of you, it'll,
Well, that you can pop through those different filters. And go,
Exactly.
Here, and you can see, oh, that's why people, it's all trees, that's why we can see it.
exactly, yeah.
But reality is that whole.
Yeah.
It's pretty neat.
The way I kind of describe this is like when you log onto the site, you kind of want to think about what you're here to do. You know, if you're just navigating around, Classic is probably your best option. That'll show all the buildings and all the roads, sidewalks, everything very clearly. If you want to actually draw on the map, add data, Neutral is your best option. That flattens everything out. You know, bright colors can show up nicely above. And then, you know, if you're interested in the underlying features, Topo is really the way to go. And then, of course, you've got all the aerials from whatever year you like, all the way back to 1934.
Oh, do you use the magic site?
So that 1934 aerial does come from Magic.
Does it?
It's which is it. I was able to get it up fast because of that, but they put that together. I mean, it's been almost 15 years
Yeah,
now,
right.
and the georeferencing isn't all that good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good statewide, but when you get into it townwide, you can see there's some problems there. So on my my to-do list is to totally redo that with higher. There's actually more resolution
Really?
than they have available.
That would be great, because when you're looking back to doing a management plan and it wants historical information,
Yeah, I'm
the only
sure.
thing you have right now is the magic site.
Yeah.
So if that came up with a better resolution,
We'll definitely have that this year.
you can do that?
Yes, and we're also adding there's 1951 photography for Groton as well. That'll be up. Those are my two main targets right now. Eventually, we'll get to the ones in the 60s and 70s.
So you're not doing the Yukon magic, you're just doing it for Groton?
Exactly, yes.
Oh, okay. No one else is paying him, right?
Yeah, right.
Sorry.
There's another town paying him, maybe.
Right.
It's a lot of work
Sorry,
to do it for
guys,
the
it's
city,
only right. You
but
can only get the Groton.
maybe it'll inspire people to
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
some other things. I've been noticing some of the stuff we've been adding to our site is now like showing up in other people's apps too, which is great.
Like Clear and Yukon.
Yeah, or just other towns, you know, are starting to adapt to some of the ways we've restructured things here. We had this was all set up 20, 30 years ago, and there's been a lot of development that hasn't been added in the last few years, just because
People aren't available, don't have
Exactly.
the expertise.
yeah, and I mean a lot of it is just hardware. A lot of it is yeah, there's a lot of reasons, but there've been a lot of developments, and we are right on the edge as far as implementing a lot of that stuff.
Groton's always been on the cutting edge when it came to GIS.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great stuff.
So I think the only other thing I wanted to highlight is.
Well, you said you hadn't done much.
So we've been working on sort of the symbology. I thought was kind of all over the place, and we're now adopting a lot of the Park Service standards to bring in iconography like there eventually. there we go, boat ramps.
Oh, okay.
You know, that's a
Yeah,
fairly universal symbol
right. Yep.
that you'd expect to see.
Right.
Be nice to know how many parking spots were
Well, I mean, I think you could, you mean how many are available right now? Or just go up to the 2020
there. How many
aerial?
available, and how many
Yeah.
crammed in
There
there?
they are.
Like you drive into some parking garage, tell you, you know, that, or I guess there's like lights, red lights and green lights above each parking spot. So you kind of look, you see, oh, there's a green light, so you know there's a parking spot.
Not just driving around and around.
Right. Well, I guess you drive around looking
And playgrounds also have been added. That'll be, and this is all about just, you know,
That's a basketball court?
yes, I believe so.
Where am I?
In the city.
Oh, that's volleyball.
Is it?
Yeah,
This guy right here?
yeah, that's a volleyball.
Well,
Uh-oh.
that's
Yeah,
not a,
no, it's basketball,
that's
excuse me.
not the
Okay.
image. I
It's
don't know what's
basketball.
there, but that's the image.
It's basketball.
Yeah.
It's Esca Point with a volleyball.
Yes, yeah.
Yes, okay.
But they did have volleyball on the other side of, at East Point at one time. I don't
Just peek in and see how you're doing.
Good. I think we're almost done.
All right, that's what I have. I mean, the next directions, I guess, are just continue to refine data, work on the newer version of the Trails app, which will, it'll be trails, it'll be things like playgrounds, just water access, just all outdoor activity in one place.
There is car top boat launching at Easton over in front of the Zaberski House.
Oh, is there? Okay, I will have
I
to
might
get that
want to
added.
confirm that with city.
Yes.
I think they've been allowed.
Okay. Good to know.
Do you have a sense of when the town app will?
Which
That's what you're talking about, app, or is it this you're talking about? Yeah, because you're adding more things. Is that a phone app or is that a?
no, it would be
It's just-
web-based.
okay.
You know,
So-
we'd
Field
start
maps.
with that. But again, you could access it through the field maps. Building something standalone, if it, you know, if the situation warrants it, I think we're all for it.
No, field maps I think works. Just that, I wasn't sure that's what you're talking about.
So, thank you, Nolan.
That will.
No,
Yeah.
you might be welcome at a lot of these open houses and that sort of thing to do a demonstration.
Sure.
I think people would love to see, you know, I keep seeing what you have and I want to go, oh, let me look over here and let me switch that later. You know, it's like, it's addictive, but I think it would be really popular. I think people would really like a demonstration. You know,
Yeah,
put it up, project it on a big screen and, you know, have a, either a special set aside place for it or do it right in the middle of, you know, an open house or something.
Library would love it too.
Yeah, I was just thinking.
I mean, this has been terrific for us, but get the word out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great
Absolutely.
tool.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah, I
if
think
it is
people would be-
involving, at least people will
Right,
understand it's
and, right.
continually involving.
And to Mr. Schulman's point, they would know where to go. And even if it is constantly changing, it's.
Yeah.
You're getting more information, so.
Joan and I have used it on water walks and some other walks recently.
Yeah.
We exactly.
Well-
it was really useful.
Well, now I want to know who owns that property behind Farquhar and is that potentially, you know, an expansion of that little park or something, you know? Right.
Brought utilities.
There's a data center going in there, Sean.
Oh, my heart be still.
Yeah, so maybe I'll reach out to the library and we can set something up. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, and I don't know if they have one of these, a room where, at a setup like this, we can talk
Yes.
to Sean.
I'm pretty sure that rooms 1 and 2, and
Okay.
they have a whole bunch of tech. equipment,
Oh,
a big
okay.
screen
Oh,
in
perfect,
front.
yeah, okay. All right.
Actually, you could do coffee and refreshments.
Yes. All right. Give them some gore, right?
Real coffee.
Trail gore, yeah. Yeah. Okay.
And then I guess the other thing, just for you guys, is just any other information you can think of that we can get in here. And Ray, you mentioned that you've got some ideas about descriptions for places.
Well, I gave you.
That's wonderful. Yeah, I've looked at some of the stuff you have.
Okay.
That's fantastic.
Okay.
And just keep it going.
So Mark, what I did is I went through the Groton open space stuff and pulled together descriptions and put pictures. Like I had to give.
Oh,
So
okay.
we should probably do the same thing for all the town trails, just basic,
Right,
just the basic 1 paragraph synopsis of what
Right.
it is, and then just a picture
right,
of the trailhead.
yeah. And we started doing this, the Connecticut Trail Finder app.
Yes.
Yeah, we've started giving them information. I know.
Kim Bradley.
Kim Bradley, yeah, she's in charge of that. I know we've started giving her information. About some of them. Not all of them.
Is there any history on those trails or anything?
Pequot Woods, we gave her, or not Pequot Woods, we gave her a 2-page thing, and she had to consolidate it. Talked about the old ice house, yeah.
And that's what I'm looking for. There'll be no consolidation for what we're doing.
Oh, okay.
The deeper the dive, the better.
Yeah.
Be fun to have a picture of a boat that was able to come all the way in before the railroad bridge.
Oh, yeah,
Never found
Right.
stuff that far back.
right. Well, maybe Jim Street. All right, so that's it. That's all you've done?
That's it.
Okay.
That's
All right.
wonderful. You've been really busy. Really busy.
Really
Yeah.
nice map.
Yeah, thank you very
Thank you.
much.
That's great.
All right, so the next item I had was new business National Trails Day. We've actually, I think, already talked about that. Avalonia is doing something. Groton Open Space is doing something.
That's April 5th.
No, June
5th and
5th. It's the
6th.
first weekend in June.
Always the
Yeah, it's June 4th and 5th.
Fourth
Fourth and fifth?
Oh, okay.
Thanks.
4th is Saturday, 5th is Sunday.
Okay, and you've got hikes scheduled both days?
No, we don't have anything scheduled for Saturday. We just have Sunday morning and Avalonia has Sunday afternoon.
Oh, okay, all right.
Did you say National
Right,
Trails
you're gonna
Day?
send that in.
Oh, well, it's Connecticut Trails Day. It's
Connecticut
sponsored.
Trails.
Yeah,
Right.
Connecticut Forest and Park Service is organizing it. You register with them.
Yeah.
They'll send the leader a t-shirt and instructions and sign in stuff and all that.
Okay. All right.
I have a question that we didn't cover. Do we have any trails that are handicap accessible, meaning wheelchair accessible, where somebody who's confined to a chair can roll through? Do we have anything like that in Groton?
Yes, the Avery Farm North is a dirt road that's closed to traffic. There's a small rise, so either motorized or someone to help push you up, but otherwise it's very good condition. And you go by pastures and fields and a 38-acre marsh, and it's about 0.6 of a mile. And then you can go off to the right because Eversource built a road that's really high quality, so you could go a little bit off over and look at the brook and that sort of thing off to the right, as well as going straight up on the road there. And I would say that's one of the prettiest. It wasn't designed for handicap, but it's there's a lot of people that do go there. There's a neighbor who comes on his motorized wheelchair there.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. The boardwalk, yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah, right, yeah, the boardwalk along Paquonic Plains, or, Paquonic River Walkway.
Yeah,
Which
just
starts-
north on
oh,
this map we're looking at, just north of the railroad there.
Yeah, yeah, and then the other would be the multi-use path that runs along Route 1. That from Town Hall or the community center down to Sutton Park. And then eventually, we're going to connect, there's gonna be a multi-use path that goes from that Route 1 trail through Sutton Park out to Midway Oval. So that's,
Surface area on that?
It's all flat,
gonna be
paved.
yeah, that's all flat. And that will be
I haven't walked the boardwalk since last autumn, but at that point I noticed adequate degradation of the road surface that I would be concerned with my son on his wheelchair, which would weigh in total 600 or so pounds because of the weight of the chair. I think that would need to be inspected before we label that as handicap accessible.
The boardwalk itself or
Yeah,
the,
there's some of the cross members in any way could at least use a look.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah, we did replace some boards last year that were getting soft. And we do have a plan for the engineering division to look at that boardwalk and make an assessment of its current condition and its existing available life. That has been there for 20+ years, and we need to start thinking about, how much longer before we need to replace it.
you know what, I would make it wider if you replace it. It's hard to
Yeah,
pass.
that's actually our plan. We're hoping that we may be able to use the same underpinning and just cantilever it out further, but it's right by the river, and I'm not sure how DEP is gonna feel about that. It could be quite a process, but yes, we
Yeah.
would like to widen it.
Well, you won't be doing anything to the ground. You're not degrading the slope or anything.
Yeah, no, I understand that, but, I'm sure that there's gonna be hoops to jump through if we
Sure.
do, yeah.
Yeah, you're in here for the long haul.
Yes, yeah, but Public Works is supposed to be looking at it to deem its available lifespan.
Thank you so much.
Sure. All right, it is,
Move that we adjourn.
yes, thank you.
Is that what you were looking for?
Can
That's
I
what-
just do a shout out? Bruce was the graphic designer for our brochure, so I wanted to just give him credit. He did a really
Ooh,
nice
very
job. He's
nice.
our graphic designer.
Wow,
And the signs too, we did the signs.
And we did the signs
oh,
too.
nice,
We did the
okay.
signs.
So just a shout out to Bruce.
Some of them might be
Well,
photos, right? No? No,
Thank you all for the privilege.
All right, thank you very much. We'll see you June 16th. Yes, that's our next meeting.
okay.
All right. Well.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye,
Would you
Joe.
ever be discussing the bridge and the possible boardwalk and fishing pier by Esker Point as something that this group would ever discuss?
Yeah,
Because there was a plan, there were 3 plans developed a while back.
right.
And I don't know if this group would be, because that's such a dangerous, they live down there and
Yeah.
there's